And now let's go from need to care for workers to the need to care for refugees. The United Nations Refugee Agency UNHCR has launched a Zakat fund for refugees and internally displaced persons in Nigeria to help alleviate their suffering. This contribution is expected to further encourage Muslims to meet their Islamic obligations. Maria Thomas reports.
Almost 3 million Nigerians are displaced internally, and this figure rises daily with the continued unrest in the northeast and other security crises across the country. With the reduction in funding of the United Nations, meeting the basic needs of this number of people now requires different strategies. The UNHCR, which is a UN refugee agency responsible for the protection of IDPs and refugees, says it has only received 14% of its required $97.7 million in 2021. The shortfall of over $83 million has meant they had to turn to other sources in order to meet these basic needs.
2.9 million horrific journeys exacerbated by the fear of losing one's life or the life of a loved one. 2.9 million is not merely a statistic, but a stark number representative of more than a decade of relentless and tragic suffering.
Zakat has been identified as one of such sources. Zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which mandates Muslims to give a certain percentage of their savings to the needy.
Once you exceed that threshold, you are supposed to pay 2.5% of your savings that are not used for more than 1 year.
The UNHCR is hopeful that contributions as this can help meet the needs of vulnerable people in refugee camps and internally displaced in the northeast.
The zakat is enough to take care of the basic need of almost every person that live on the planet. Therefore, the importance of zakat in alleviating poverty and assisting the refugees in coming to the aid of the IDPs cannot be overemphasized.
They assure all Muslims of its credibility and Zakat fund managers that contributions will be properly accounted for and will get to the primary sources. The executive chairman, Sokoto State Zakat and Wakat, is convinced and announces a donation of 1 million naira.
The Zakat fund will address basic needs such as food, clothing and shelter. Other needs such as education and health will be considered if enough funds are contributed. Maria Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.